Hello there, folks. Hey, this is Joe Wazoo here. Hey, in today's quick video, we're going to talk about parsing an ASCII string of data. In this example, we're going to go in and do some reading the string and break it apart. I've got some other videos on this that also show it, but I thought I'd make another one. Today, I'm using a graphite G09 HMI with a USB plug-in barcode scanner. Some little inexpensive thing I bought. And in this case, over here on the left on device configuration, if you slide down into the section called USB devices, you'll see there's a thing here. I'm going to set this up as a keyboard. So when it actually scans the barcode, it will react to this as a keyboard interface, if you will. Now, I can also take this same barcode scanner thing I have, and I can do a serial port with it. And I can do the same thing over here with communications and do a serial protocol over these. But this one's got a USB thing, so I'm going to use that. Let me go to data tags here. Let me show you something here. I'll go through these tags shortly. But first off, I have a tag up here. This is an ASCII string tag, so it's just a string tag. And I got this guy here, and I've got it set up for 200 characters. I did this as a retentive because I was playing around with this, and I didn't want to keep scanning it, but you don't have to make it retentive. I just did for this. So this is going to be the barcode I'm going to read in. I call it raw barcode because then I'm going to copy that over to barcode, and I'll do a bunch of work with it. You can see the barcode one is not retentive, but this one is. Anyway, so if I go over here to display pages, and I'm going to click on page 1. I know it's really small. Let me see if I can roll my mouse in a little bit. So this top field right here, I got really small. I got really small font because this thing reads in a whole bunch of stuff. So I just want you to see that this tag right here is basically this one drug on the screen. The only thing I did, if I double click on this and on the data tab, is I turned on data entry. So data entry means that I'm going to use my barcode scanner to scan this in, and we're going to see this happen. So let me go ahead and do that first so you can see that. So let me download this to the existing HMI. There it is. If I go over here, here's the screen we're looking at right here. So if I click on this right here, boom, brings up the raw barcode. Here is the barcode I want to read, this little 2D barcode. So let me grab this thing and see if I can read it in, see if you can hear it. Listen. There you go. You heard it click. Now I have this thing set up where it's feeding slow characters. You can program these so they come in quick. I just wanted you to see this, so I got it doing that. And then when this gets done, it should automatically close this window, and we should see it right there. You see it? So let me move this out of the way, or maybe I won't. I can just click on this, bring it front and center. Anyway, so you can see, here's that string of data that's coming in. Now, I know it's really small here because I've got the font set up here, bringing it small. But let me go back to the program. I want to show you some stuff. So that's that field there. Right below there, this field right here, which you don't see a label on, but if I double click on this guy, it's going to show the barcode tag, this one right here, but I took away the label there, so I wanted you to see everything. I could put the label back in, but well, you know, let's do this. We'll put the barcode in. We'll see what happens there. Okay. All right. Now, what I did here then is I wrote a program, and the program is really where all the meat and potatoes happens. So over here in programs, let me go over here to programs, and the program I wrote is one called ASCII _ parser. I don't know if I spelled that right, but I called it ASCII _ parser. And let me see if I can make this a little bigger. And team, I'm all about putting comments in here because I'm trying to make it so if you get a copy of this program, hopefully you can read through this and figure out what the heck I'm trying to do. So this program does nothing more than take a raw string from it could be a 2D or a regular barcode and parses into values. I got some internal stuff right here, and that's it. The first thing I do is I don't have to do this, but I did here, is I took the raw barcode we read in and I put it into a field called barcode. Okay, so that will fill in. Let me, I'm going to go ahead and press it. You'll see here. So that put this right in here. Close your eyes. Don't look at this stuff. That put all this right in here. But if you notice, I know it's really small. Let me see. Can I make this bigger so you can see it? Let me zoom in. Oops, that's too far. I'm going to zoom in here. I don't know if the video shows up like this. But you see, like here, you got like an open squiggly, and then you got some double quotation marks, and you got a colon, and then you got double quotation something here, and then a comma, and then you go down here and you got part number, all that, and that just kind of repeats in this whole string. So what I did here in Crimson in the programs is I went right here, and I'm using the strip command. Now you might wonder, what do you mean by strip command? Well, you see, if you go over here to the lower right-hand corner of Crimson and click on System down here in the lower right-hand corner, why can't I get that to stop? Okay, click System, and then if you happen to expand the functions tree and then go down to the strings tree, there's a bunch of functions in here. This video today is going to use the len, length. We're going to use the mid. We'll use the left and probably the stripped and a couple others here. So right now I'm using the strip command, and I'm doing a couple things here. I decided that I would get rid of all those open squiggly brackets, closed squiggly brackets. I get rid of the double quotation marks, and if your barcode scanner happens to put a STX, a start of text at the beginning, or a carriage return line feed, I'm also stripping those from this as well. You can find any of these characters simply by going to an ASCII table, Google ASCII table, and you can find those characters here. Now, I'm putting it in my code as a hexadecimal number, so here's the column for hex. So you can see here the STX start of text is a 2. So if I go back to Crimson, you can see right here, to do a hex number, I'm doing a 0x, which means hex, and then 02, and 0D is carriage return, and 0A is line feed. So I threw those in there. My barcode reader doesn't put those in, but somebody else's I'm working with does, so I thought I'd throw those in there as well. Now, after I get done get all that out of that whole thing, got rid of that string, then I use the length function here to give me the length of the whole barcode. So if I go back to here, oops, not there, back to here. So the length with all that stuff, this whole string right now is 110 characters long, okay? So I did that. And if you look at this, team, let me see if I can zoom in again here. I need you to look at this here. So if I zoom in, I want you to pick up on a pattern, at least with this one. You can see there's a comma there, there's a comma there, there's a comma there, and so forth. And then you can see, look at this. Between each commas, let me pick a different color here. Let's do this. So like here, you can see there's MO colon some number. And then if I go look at this segment here, I've got part number colon some number. And then here I've got revision. Actually, this revision was interesting because you can see there's a comma, but there's no number there. So we'll get to that later. And then, of course, you got your quantity and all the way down the rim. So if you look at this, team, there apparently is a comma between each one of those parameters, if you will. So then what I did in my code, go back to my code. So I get the length. Oh, we got the length. We already discussed that. The length is 110. Okay, that's great. And then I say, okay, I need to find where's all the commas in here so I kind of parse this message. So I'm using the find function over here. This guy right here, the find function. And the find function will find the first one, which is element 0, and then any after. So the first one, I have a comma position array. This is nothing more than an array tag. Over here, you can see it's a comma position. Whoops, not here, right here. It's this one right here. And if I expand it, whatever, there's a number. But anyway, that's an array. That's an integer value. It's going to show me where the commas are in this string. So the first one, when I first come in, this J is 0 by default. I'm not doing anything. So first time it scans, it's 0. And then after that, I run this again. And I basically want to go through until I find all of the commas. And eventually when find comes back with the -1, then I'm done. And then I'm going to tell you the number of commas. So let's go back to here real quick. So we got 110. And I press this button. It says, hey, there are 6 commas apparently in the whole string. So I know you can't see this, but I'll count. There's 1 there. There's 1 there, 2, 3 there, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 commas in the whole string. Okay, that's great. All right. So that tells me that. Okay. Oh, and then let me go back to our code here. Let's look here. So that gives us that. Oh, and also this comma position, like I said, is an array. Okay. The first one here is 0. The rest of them go here. Let me go back to our browser. So this column right here, team, this column right here is nothing more than those array tags, and it shows me the composition. So help me with the math here. Look at this. This says the first one is in comma position 10. So we can either count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there it is at 11. So it's right there. It's probably 10 is what they're calling. The next one is going to be over here at 29. So I bet if you count, that's probably 29 or 30, so forth all the way. So here, until I get to here, then I'm done. And then the number of commas, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So that is where in the code, this J equals number of commas. Perfect. That tells me all I needed about that. Then what I'm doing is I go the next, after I did all that work, I created another string tag called value. And what that is supposed to be, in this case, what value is going to be, what I'm doing here with the value is I'm taking this section and I'm putting that right here in this value string right here. That's this guy right here, okay? So back here at Crimson, let me go down here. You can see it. That's element 0. Notice I didn't use a letter or a variable. I just said right away, boom, that's going to go into element 0. Same goes, no, I guess I didn't do that, but here, yep. So that uses the left command. Again, over here in the lower right, there's a left function. So the left command is what I'm using there. I take the raw barcode and I take the comp position, and it gives everything to the left of that position. And that's what it does. So it's giving me this guy right here. Perfect. All right. Let me go back to Crimson. Then after I do that, I do a for loop because I want to fill in all the rest of those parameters in here. Now, this is a little bit tricky here with this guy because I'm using the mid function. The mid function is a little bit more of a challenge. Do I have it open? Let me see here. Give me a second, team. Well, hold on. So the mid function is a little bit challenged because the mid function, you feed it the string you want to look at, and then you tell it what position you want to start at, and then it returns the number of characters after that. So you got to do some math here. This is the function right here. So back here at Crimson, let's not be shy. Let's talk about this. So I'm putting this in element 1, the first one. The first 0, element 0 to the left. After that, I'm using the mid. So if you look here, can I make this a little bigger so you can see this whole formula? Hold on here. Yeah, perfect. Right here. It's this code right here, team. This is the one I'm focused on. It's right here. So I take the mid, I put the barcode in, then I do a comma, and I want to get the starting position. So I found out that I needed to add 1 to that. So I took the comp position. Now, you got to be interested or see here. I have k minus 1 because when I come into this, k is already 1, but I want to use the first position. So I'm going to do minus 1. That gives me 0. And then I do a plus 1 to shift it over to the right. Perfect. And then I do the length. So then I take the comp position I have there, which is the, let me go back to here. This will make sense if I do this. If I go over here, let's not be shy. So I'm taking this position here minus this tells me that, hey, that ought to be about 19 characters long. So I bet if you count from here over to here, that's probably about 19 characters. 29 minus 10 should be about 19. I'm not good with math, but that's what I think it is. Anyway, so that's the formula you see here. And I did a little massaging to work with me. But hey, so that gives me that there. This part of the code right here fills in all of these values, okay? So it takes that and puts it here. Now, if you notice these values then, let's go a little further with our logic. We can see yet again another common theme. We have some kind of a parameter, and then we have some kind of a value. We got a parameter, colon, a value. Revision didn't have a value. That's too bad for it. Quantity does, negative 66. So you can see here, at least that's how the sequence that I'm reading from this is. So if I go back here to Crimson, go down a little further, then I say, hey, we are about to do some parsing of values right here. I'm parsing the values right here. So this field here, I used another internal a variable here called m, and I said m starts at 0. M, we want this for loop to go until it's, I wonder if that should be greater than, well, less than or equal number of commas. No, that's correct. And then I m plus, so that increments, that's correct. Yep. So then the first time I go through, I'm getting, this is interesting. Look here. Don't be shy. look here, I'm using the colon position, find the value of M, this guy here. Where's the colon here? I'm using a 0. Okay, so, that tool is just not going to, okay. So if I go back to Crimson, not Crimson, but back to my web browser, that's going to parse this guy out. And then if you go back to my code here, that's going to give me the, well, let me back to here. That's going to give me the column position here. And this is going to show me probably the last one, not the first one, the way it runs, but oh well. So that gives me the colon position. And then I take that and I do a left, which gives me the parameter name. And then I go and use the mid to give me the parameter value as a string. So because the mid and left returns a string value, so you'll notice those tags over here are strings. The letters A, B means they're ASCII string. And then I go a step further. I thought, just for giggles, I would take the value that they gave, and if it was an integer, I would convert it text to int, use that function, which is right here as well. Move this over. That is going to be this function right here. And I also did a text to float. I'm doing that to both just to see what may or may not happen. And that's all this program does. I'm going to get rid of this line here. I don't need this here. So I translate, save, down. Okay. All right. So that's all this code does. Let me go back here to Crimson, and I'll hit my run parameter again. There it fills in. So again, here's the value fields. Here is those fields parsed out. And then here's the other. And then I went a step further on this next page here. I did the same thing here. But then here is the integer equivalent, and here is the real. Now, I need you to notice something. This one, because it had a letter M right here, you know, I gotta be honest with you, that makes that a ASCII string in my book. The letter M with this, that's a string value. That's not an integer value with that. And then this one here, it did the 121, but then when it hit R, it said, well, that becomes a string. It's not going to do the rest of that. There is no revision number here. You see that here. And then this put a negative 66 here. It had a floating point. However, if you look over here, I did a text to float that has there's no decimal point, so it doesn't show up there. This is a 100. There's a 100 there. This is 11.9. That comes up as 11 in integer, or 11.9 here. And then this one, and this last one just had a 1. So if I hit the back arrow here, it has a 0, 1 here, then has this rest here. So again, that's why this shows a 1 here, because it has that string. Also, I put a barcode here on the Crimson program. Just really weird. I'm kind of weird anyway. If I go over here, if I go to page 2, you see this blank part here. If you go to primitives, go into your core primitives, slide all the way down to the, well, actually, no, sorry, go into core primitives, and then slide all the way down to the bottom. Here's a barcode. I just merely dragged that guy on the screen, and then I double-clicked on it, and I grabbed my, you know what I could do? Let me do this. I used this one on the other one. Let's drag this one out. Let's put that guy there. I want to see what happens here. So you can see you lose the border, but I'll do same size as, whoops, that guy. Let's try this. I just want to see what happens. All right. So let's download it. Okay, I'll run the program. There it fills in. If I go to the next page, there's the 2 barcodes. I'm curious, how can I test this? Well, you know what? I'll only try something. Let me take my little barcoder. It beeped. I don't know if it, well, you can't really tell here because, let me go over here. Let's see if it pops up here. No, see, I need to, well, there it goes. Did you guys see that? So it must have read in, put that up again here. Look, there it's reading the whole sequence. That's pretty cool. I'm sorry. I just think, and you heard me beep it a couple times. So this barcode reader, like I said, I got to make some adjustments to it. But I don't sell the barcode, so I'm just using it out of the box. That's what it is. Anyway, that's pretty cool. If you want to go, and I did I did everything. This is it. I covered everything in this database. I guess I did one more thing over here in programs. I wrote another program called Clear Everything, and that program deletes the barcode, puts in nothing there, and then I have a for loop, and it fills all the values in blanks. So if I go back to Crimson, and if I go to my page 1, this button right here, well, this button here, you know, runs the program. Right click on this, go to properties. Anytime I click on that, that runs the ASCII parser program. And then this button here just runs the clear program, for clear everything. So just so you can see that happening, if I go back to the browser, you see I got everything. If I hit the clear button, it clears all. You know what I need to do is I need to clear these stuff. See how that still shows the, so hold on, don't say sold yet. Let's fix that since you guys are watching this far. Let's go in here. Those are actually just static tags. So we need to clear the length. So I'm going to drag the length out here like this. Boom. Make it equal to 0, semicolon. I'm going to grab the number of commas, equal to 0, semicolon. And what other one did I have in here? And the colon position. I keep wanting to call that colon, but anyway. Okay. I put this line on me. All right. I made those changes. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Save. Let's go ahead and download this to it. See what happens to your team. I think they'll be 0 because I didn't make them retentive, but see, they're already 0. So if we go clear it, they're cleared. Let's try it again. I'll click here. I'm going to go to my little barcode thing. Bring up my little barcode, move it there. Get my little reader over here. Ready? Listen. There we go. Let it fill all the way in. I just think that's cool. All right, there it is. I'm going to run the program. Boom. Everything's good. Over here, looks good. Go back. So this time if I hit clear, I'm hoping to see these clear along with all this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. And the barcodes are gone because they have nothing in them, so that's why I don't show up. Man, that is so awesome. Pretty cool. If you want to copy this database, don't be shy. Be glad to send it to you. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, you know, one person, one more thing here. Back here, I've had people ask, why can't you find a whole word in a string? Well, you see, we can't because the find just finds a character. However, now that I did all this work, really, I could search any parameter name now because it's just an array of tags. So I could ask the question, does it equal this? And I can find out which one. That's a whole thing you could do. But this ought to get 99% of you up and running with this example. Thanks a lot, folks. Have yourself a great day. If you want to copy the database, please don't be shy. Send me a note. Let me know, hey, Jose, give me the G09 2D barcode Parsing 241106 video. See you later.